Can you remember the first time we met?
Yeah, you called me just as I had COVID for the first time.
Yeah, I can remember you just had the vaccine and I was coming back from annual leave and I was in a pub and we spoke and you're like, Trent, I'm really sick right now, but I want to speak to you tomorrow. And I was like, all right, mate. Well, like, let's put an NDA in place. Like, can you let me know anything about your idea at this stage? High level. And you said hospitality and I was like, great. Another hospitality app.
Yeah. I remember you going, now I remember you must have been thinking, God, Tom's gonna love this.
Yeah.
Another guy trying to solve hospitality. But it was weird because I'd just been having the conversation and I just got hit with a hyper ad. Are you looking for an app, someone to build your app? And I was like, I am that guy. And obviously that's when I reached out and then you came back a day later.
Yeah, I can remember.
Here we are.
I can remember the first time we hopped on a call and it was you and a couple of others. And I was like, you know, these guys, they have an awesome idea, but it was the founding team that was going to make the difference. You know, you guys had that belief and you really knew what you were trying to achieve. You just needed a structure and kind of guidance at that point, right?
We needed a lot at that point, and now I look back over the last 18 months since we've been speaking, like we've come a long way, and you know, whilst maybe not the norm, you've been there 24/7 to help us get through all these things that I'm going through as a founder, and here we are now with a launched app in the market.
It wasn't always Ambl though. Remember when you first came to me and you had
about that, Trent.
Okay, all right.
We are not going there.
But all right. So and you know what the funniest thing is, Aaron, is you came to me with it. You know what the funniest thing is when we first spoke, you had an idea as to what you wanted to achieve, right? You wanted to make, you know, the hospitality. You wanted to solve the spontaneous problem within the hospitality industry. And where your idea started and where it is now is two completely different things, right?
Because you have the idea. I think the clear thing is, you know, everyone's got good ideas, right? And everyone has that, what they want to do. Everyone wants a business or whatever. But as soon as you have that idea, you'll either know whether you're going to do it or not. It's like a bucket of cold water. It just hits you that that's what you have to go out and do. Because there's loads of good ideas floating around. Maybe someone had this idea before me, but what I did was get it on paper, get the story right, get the problem, find the solution, and then see how I was going to make money from it. And it was at that point where then we needed you guys to build it, validate it, and go through the process of actually what I need to do as a founder to get this going.
And I think that was the difference for me when I first spoke to you is I saw drive, that willingness to commit, and a hunger to execute. And you went through that validation process. You spoke to your users, you got feedback, you listened to your customers, and you created something that's making a real impact.
Yeah, and that's the important thing because, you know, whilst you think it's a good idea, you've got to go out to the market and validate. But I think people underestimate just how much validation you need to do. 100 people can say they like it, 20 of your friends can say they love it, but they're not the ones that are going to be using the app. It's the public, it's the vendors, it's the suppliers. You've got to get it right, and it's tough.
And you know, one thing that hasn't changed in the 18 months that I've known you is that conviction, that ability to sell the dream, the vision, and get people, not just your customers, not just your users, but also other stakeholders, investors, partners, to buy into what Ambl and, you know, the team is achieving.
The good thing now is obviously with the app launched, obviously, you know, we went through your full process, right? So everything from incubation through to launch. So it's been a long 12 months to get there. And now we've got this app in the market that is built to everything that we need it to be to get this business going. And the nice thing is we get to go back to these investors with these metrics, with people using the app. And actually for a founder, when I thought long and hard of what I actually wanted, it was just somebody that when I launched the app would just make a booking and just see that one person go, here you go, and turn up. That's it. That's what it came down to.
Yeah, and it was also your willingness to work hard. You had a full-time job, and yes, you were surrounded by...
You told me to quit.
Yeah, I know that, but yeah,
multiple times.
And yes, you were surrounded by a team at Hyper, but you know,
Dude, you got to quit your job. Why? Can't I do this while I'm working?
Far out. I can remember
Forget
that.
it.
I can remember that. We're in the boardroom.
Good luck, mate.
We're in the boardroom, and you stood out. You're like, you're at the coffee machine. You go, I can't quit my job. I've got a marriage, mate. I've got a wedding coming up, mate.
Yeah. But I mean, the business wouldn't have worked if I didn't quit my job. And to be honest with you, if at the time the price of doing that was too high in my mind, but I just feared regret.
Yeah.
And I've never looked back since, and it's the best thing I've ever done. But it's been the support from Hyper, the tech team, and just going through that whole process of understanding how to do this, you know. And I'm still just finding out now. You know, this is the first business, right? We've just launched, so it's still early days, but the foundations are there, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're super proud of you, mate. But at the same time, you know, we saw something. Like at that first phone call we had, I knew that this guy was different. And yes, he had a great idea, but you know, you had the ability to sell, you had the ability to execute, you had a drive and a passion for the industry, and a willingness to learn, right? And like that was your unfair advantage at that point. It wasn't your idea, it was you, mate.
The thing is like you've hit the nail on the head there. Like, you can't go into starting a business knowing everything. Everyone knows fuck all at the start. So how else are you meant to learn other than just asking everyone and just like immersing yourself in that space? And I'm still doing it now. There's still things that I don't know, but my God, the journey you go on. It's
you tell me, is there anything that you would change from, I guess, starting and to where you are now? Any regrets? You said no regrets, but there's got to be some regrets, mate.
Other than stupid mistakes that you only do because you don't know what you're doing at the first go. Yeah. I honestly have no regrets. There is nothing. Yes, I would have done things differently. Yes, I would have processed things differently. Yes, I would have maybe had a different pitch when I went to venues, but now, no, I've done it. I've gone out and done my thing. I wanted to start a business. I wanted to build an app, and I wanted people to use it. And now it's in the App Store.
With a
4.8 star rating.
There we go, baby. There we go. I can remember receiving WhatsApps from you at 11 o'clock at night, and you're like, I'm on the train home, I've just signed up, you know, this group of publicans or this venue, and I had no fucking idea who they were.
No.
But I knew that they were going to significantly increase your valuation
100%.
and demonstrate to investors a clear path to market. Yeah. It was true validation. You pounded the pavement.
Every day.
Every single fucking day after work. And you got after it.
Yeah, but how the hell else am I going to try and convince every restaurant in London to use my app when it's not out, when they don't even know who I am, and when it's not, and they've never heard of it. Yeah. So you've got to go in that restaurant 4, 5, 6 times and drink with the manager, sit with the manager, speak to the team until they go, yeah, we're on board, and one by one.
And this stuff doesn't happen overnight, does it?
No, we were building the app for a year, and like I said, I had to quit my job just so I had the hours in the day to get this right with a co-founder, you know, and a team, and raising. Like it's a non-stop job. It's actually a lifestyle if you go into this.
From your experience, mate, what would you tell people looking to join Hyper?
I think there's multiple tech incubators out there. I think this is a case of you finding the right fit and partner, because at the end of the day, this isn't about who's the cheapest or who's the biggest. This is about someone who's going to take your idea and make it happen. And I think founders need to be aware that the work that you've got to put in to do that is a lot, but so much better when you've got people that know what they're doing that can take you all the way through. And that's where, you know, I'm pleased to have worked with you guys. That's allowed us to launch an app and actually be out there and working.
When you have the next idea, you know who to call, right?
Too right, mate.